Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mage, and I've got a very special guest for another episode of Game Night. He is a PlayFFA.net admin, he's an undead player, and he's one of the friendliest guys in the community. Why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of introduction about yourself, Keno?
Hello, everybody. This is Keno from you already said it's from PlayFFA.net. People always pronounce my name wrong. They always say I'm Kenostrikesback, and I can blame you for that, actually, because you started it all with Warpex, one game in Season 17, I think, when you all saw me for the first time. So my name is Kenostrikesback, not Keno, and be sure to remember that. So we're looking at your game, Mage, but we're not going to talk much about your game. We're going to talk about the upcoming tournament, right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is just a placeholder game, and fair warning to those listening, I may or may not have accidentally forgotten to record 47 minutes of the previous commentary I did with Keno. So we're going to try and cover everything that we did, but hopefully it doesn't sound too scripted, since it's not. It's just the fact that Mage can't remember to hit that little record button. But yeah, so the tournament we're talking about, today's date is March 5th, I believe, Yep, we're recording on March 5th. On March 7th, there is going to be a very special tournament. It's the PlayFFA Tournament number 5. So why don't you give us a little bit of the background on it, and then I'll fill in any details that I see to add fit.
Okay, unlike the previous recording which you failed to record, when you embarrassed me by knowing all about the tournament, and where I didn't know anything about the tournament, now I know something.
See, I was just doing this for your benefit, really.
Yeah, of course, Mage. The tournament will be held on Saturday, 10 a.m. for Americans, for EST, and 4 p.m. for CET, and for Russia 6 p.m.
Yep.
The tournament is currently the 44 slots are full, and we still need 20 slots to get filled. So feel free to apply. The application thread is on playffa.net. You can find it. It's like second or third post on the front page. So go and apply. We'll be having all sorts of players. It won't be only pros, which is the reason why you don't want to play, because Megatensk is gonna come and kill me, because that's what I would do. But let's not talk about that. We also have some medium, intermediate players, but I'm not gonna say who is intermediate, who is pro. But we'll be having who did we say? We have Soso, we have Megatensk, right?
Yep.
We have Hawk.
HTRT.
HTRT, we have Lucifer, Spielman.
Yep, Therapy's going to play, and then I'm sure there are a bunch of other people that we are forgetting, so we'll just leave it as a bunch of other great people and hope that nobody else takes offense to that.
Yeah, and I have my, the only other Croatian player on the bot, my Zagor TN, he's going to play as well, so I hope that he will give us some good time, if nothing else, right?
Absolutely, although I do have to say, since I don't play on the bot very much, I'm not entirely sure who he is, but if he's Croatian, he's got to be good, right?
Well, I'm not gonna comment on that, because we Croatians are not really good. We just know how to, I don't know, get angry a lot. But that goes for some. That doesn't go for me. Yeah.
Fair
enough. Last time we discussed the stereotypes about what race we play, and we said that night elves are patient, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, Zagor would not fall into this.
Well, there's an exception to prove every rule, so yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, Mage and I we recorded for 47 minutes, and I think there were like 10 minutes of, where we commented about prejudices that people have towards other races.
Yeah, and if you're an undead player or a night elf player, you certainly understand all of these, because clearly humans and orcs are just evil. I mean, there's no getting around it.
Yeah, it was a negative comments for humans and orcs, and positive for night elf and undead. So about the tournament more. The tournament will be in 4 ways. There will be 3 rounds. The first map is, can you remind me, what's the first map?
Yeah, it's Blasted Lands, I believe.
Blasted Lands, it's you said it was an 8-way map, but it's gonna be played 4-way, right?
Yeah, it originally was, so it was a very popular map on Random Team. But what Ugri has done, or at least Ugri instructed somebody to do, was he removed 4 of the spawns so that there's no longer spawning back-to-back. And it's actually a very nice free-for-all map now. It's easy to get to people's bases, it's a quick way, but there are a lot of gold mines and a lot of natural expansion, so it allows people to get a very early 100 food army if they want to, or they can sit back and forage quite a bit. Dovekey and I actually casted a quick replay on it earlier on. We gave some thoughts as to what the different races would have to deal with on the map, what some of the advantages were, maybe a good strategy or two.
Yeah, Dovekey is a good guy to do this with.
Yeah. So that should be uploaded on YouTube by now. You can check that out. You should especially do it if you're going to play in the tournament. You don't want to go into the map unprepared because it is a very different map. But I think it's going to be a very good map, and we'll see how it goes in the tournament, but we may think about implementing it into the Free-For-All Masters League next time.
If it's going to be good. Not unlike the Symmetrical Chaos. You remember that map? You shoutcasted a lot on that map. It was a tournament Persuade won it. I don't know which it was. But that doesn't matter. The second round is Ruins, right?
Yep, that is. And I don't really know a whole lot about that map, do you?
I think I played it a couple of times, if that's the map I'm thinking about right now. But that map is... I don't know, it has like...
It's weird.
No, isn't it balanced? Like 4 corners, starting points, and you have like 3 gold mines in each corner, extra gold mines in each corner. I really don't know, but players will check it out if they're gonna play. If you're gonna play a tournament, make sure to check the maps. You don't want to be like me, like when I played the Symmetrical Chaos, I didn't know anything about that map, and I really embarrassed myself by losing all of my armor to creeps in the first wave of creeps. So yeah, go check the maps and so you can be prepared more. But the final map, it's gonna be Market Square, everyone's favorite, and it's an all-time favorite, I think. It's personally my second favorite map. You all know the creeping patterns there. There's even a video tutorial on YouTube, I think, about Market Square creeping. Yeah, so be very good so you can make it to the finals and play Market Square. And yeah, I think that's all for the tournament. The guys behind the Warcraft will be Ponty, Overadmar, Ugri, and myself. We'll make sure that your games start on time. We'll make sure that we have a little ladder where you can see if you lost or if you won. After the games, as the game progresses, it's gonna get full, and I think that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, you missed a couple of important points. The first one being there's actually a $250 prize going to first place. So not only is this going to be a great tournament and fun to play in general, but there's a significant amount of money on the line. So that's even more reason that everybody should make sure they go ahead and sign up. And
yeah, maybe I should sign up.
You know, I think there might be a conflict of interest on that one. But
yeah, true.
The other thing is that there's going to be a time limit implemented, actually, which is players will have 90 minutes in which the game will progress normally, but then if we are waiting on you to finish your game, there will be a sort of sudden death implemented where the game will end after, I believe it was 10 minutes, and the player with the highest score gets the win. So that should prevent games that have a lot of long hoarding type styles on them. And it's a rule that I think will really create a little more liveliness to the tournament, which I think is a great thing.
Yeah, and don't look at this as a bad thing. We're really implementing this rule only because if the first round, which are 16 rounds, I think it's 16. Yeah, there are 16 games in the first round, and we need to finish them at least like in half an hour. Like all of the games need to be finished after an hour and a half or 2 hours, so we can start the next round. And if you're gonna play a game where the game's gonna last for 2 or 3 hours, like this, I'm not gonna swear, but we're gonna screw up the tournament. So we really need this rule. So it's not for your bet. It's nothing negative. It's really just to keep the tournament flowing and to keep it more.
Yep, and something that should be mentioned.
Not to keep players wait.
All the maps. I was just going to say, all the maps are designed so that 90 minutes is more than enough time to finish the game on it. If the games don't get finished, it's probably because somebody's towering up, and that's going to be a downfall for them because you don't gain very many points by mass towering. So it is a very good rule, as Keno said. And just to reiterate, the site is playffa.net. It starts at 10 o'clock on Saturday, March 7th for EST. 1600 for CET and 1800 for MSK. I'm going to put a link in the description that you can go sign up for it. So if you happen to be listening to this and have not already done so, you should go ahead and do it. But while we don't usually like to focus on one type of subject to plug too long in a game night, we're going to go ahead and move on to some more personal stuff about you and find out the man behind that name. So I know that you're Croatian, you mentioned that early on, but why don't you give us a little bit of background about how you came to play Warcraft 3, how long you've been playing, and that type of stuff.
Okay, so I think I started playing Warcraft as soon as it came out, maybe a year later. I think I got a new PC so I could afford to play Warcraft on it. And for a long time, I think for like 6 or 7 or 8 years maybe, I played only single player. Like I would really only play here and then, and I would go make a custom game with 8 players on Market Square, put 7 computer insanes and just try to practice. And then I discovered multiplayer like really late, and I was playing with my neighbor. He was a night elf, and I was a night elf before actually, and I switched to undead. And as Mage mentioned earlier, I switched to only worse race than night elf. But
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still holding up as an undead. So we played like normal games. We hosted our own games, and we would like wait for even half an hour sometimes for a game to start, and to convince players that we were playing FFA, not 2 versus 2 versus 2 versus 2 or 4 versus 4. So yeah, we did that for like a year or 2 years, and then I discovered something called PlayFFA, and I saw FFA, so I had to click, and I started playing on the bot. I wasn't so bad because I already had a lot of experience, even if it were single player experience. And then one game I met Serbian guy Svedirko. How do you English people pronounce this?
I've always just pronounced it Svedirko, but that's mostly not so much a reflection on the language I speak as the complete lack of mastery I have of all of it.
Yeah. And yeah, so he told me, well, guy, you're really good. Why don't you go and apply to the site, like make your own account, blah blah. And I said okay, and I found Neo Geo forum, PlayFFA, and I was on Garena back then. So I like the next day I played that game. The next day I met Ugri already, and we talked on Garena chat box. And he was really persuading me to make the account and blah blah blah. And I made the account, and the same minute I made the account, you know what happened?
The entire site crashed.
Yeah, the entire site crashed, and well, Ugri felt like that I was the one to blame, so he blamed it on me. There was a lot of swearing, a lot of cursing, a lot of words which Ugri would not mention to his daughters, and I don't know. I really didn't give a fuck about this because it was. I really didn't understand what was happening because somebody said the site was down, and I was like, okay, the site was down, it's gonna be up in like 3 minutes, but it wasn't. So there was a whole thread about me, about Kenostrikesback crushing down the site or taking down the site. Yeah, and I like me and informatics, me and hacking, it's like a cow in a ballet, so I really don't know anything about this. It was funny for me at that time, actually. I wasn't really into PlayFFA, I was like only into Warcraft. And then, well, the things cooled off, and Ugri realized that I wasn't the one who was responsible for the accident. And I started visiting PlayFFA more often, and then yeah, one thing led to another, and I became an admin. But as we as we talked about this before, I told you that it was before summer of 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about applying for admin place, but I really didn't want to do it because Uber had a rule about competitive players not being able to become admins, which is totally legit because it is. And so I actually backed off and I didn't want to become an admin. Hater took that place, I think a month later. And then in September, last year, in September, Searcher FF, he left and there was an empty spot. And Hader and Ugi were searching for somebody to take his spot. And when I applied or sort of hinted that I would like to do that, Hader was really like, yeah, you need to come, you're like the friendliest guy on server, it would be a really nice, you would be a really good asset to us, blah, 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 and this is why I love Hader so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so I became an admin, and yeah, that's all I think.
And what are some of the challenges you face as an admin, but also what are some of the really fun things about it?
Challenges. Well, first I'm gonna say about challenges. Challenges your bugs and fixing your bug results. This is a real challenge. I don't think players realize how much will you need.
Yeah.
Not so time consuming. Time consuming it isn't. Maybe when it adds up like 20 games, then it's time consuming. But it's a lot of calculating, a lot of numbers, and I really want to be fair when fixing the results, because you know people report it, and I don't know. I just want to be fair. So, but it takes a lot of time, and I don't think some of the players realize that. Like some players really do realize that. I remember HDRT and Failford. Like, they really appreciate what I'm doing. I see that this on their posts, and thank you guys for that. But some don't. But the other thing that's giving me some challenge on PlayFFA is when some of the players, I won't name anyone, but when they're behaving in a like unmannered way, and when they're cheating and trying to win and fucking up the game and everything. This is what really I don't like the best players. I remember some of them, but yeah, I told you I'm not gonna name them. I didn't name them earlier. So because like I told you before when we were recording, I feel like, I don't know if this is the Overmar and Uber's case, but I feel like we admins are like the protectors of this family, which we have here, like this community.
Yeah.
FML plus FFA. This is a whole one community for me, and we admins are feeling like very overprotective about it. And when somebody is trying to destroy these things, like when somebody is really cursing about and swearing and talking shit about somebody else in chat box, and when somebody is exploiting the bug on purpose, like this is where I really get angry. I really don't like that. So yeah, this is why I like the admin place and PlayFFA and everything, because this community, and like I told you before, all the people I've met.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
I'm gonna name them again. It's Ugri and Hader and Overdmar and Ponty and Mog, of course, and who else did I name last time? Zagor, and I don't know. And you named Persuade, like that you've been friends with Persuade, and who else?
Rectify, Warpex. Yeah, no, it definitely, you can create some really good friends through Warcraft, which is something a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, I can be sure that I know at least one person from each continent, except for Antarctica. How do you call it in English? Antarctica. How do you call it?
Antarctica.
I forgot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is what PlayFFA and Warcraft brought me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really appreciate the community and this work I do.
So let's talk
What else
about.
did we talk about?
Well, I think we've covered pretty much everything that we actually talked about except for our race profiles, but there's no reason we can't cover some new content.
Okay.
So we know that you have the big cup coming up, and that's probably what's on everybody's mind at PlayFFA. But can you give us any sneak previews on other things that you have in the works, and plans going forward, things you'd like to implement at PlayFFA after you finish up this cup? I mean, you guys have been incredibly innovative in terms of having random hero free-for-all, the solo random hero ladder, and the 2v2, so something that people really enjoy. Anything else along those lines?
Well, you actually caught me on this because I wasn't around for the last month and a half, I think. I actually moved out from my parents recently, so I took some time off.
Okay.
Yeah, so I really don't know much about it, but I know that this PlayFFA Cup has been in plans since October or November. So you really guys need to apply for this because Ugur will go mad. You really need. He really needs this tournament to be good, and it's gonna be good. It's always good, no matter what happens. And I don't know, just register for the tournament. You'll see. Like I told you before, there are no only pro players. There are every level of players there, and even I was asked to play, but I'm really rusty. I haven't played. Like we saw our last game. What was my game? Last game was in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really didn't play a lot. So yeah, just apply for the tournament, and Mage will shoutcast you probably because Mage will be shoutcasting on the PlayFFA Cup, and he didn't mention that.
That's true, yeah. And I believe that Ugri and yourself are going to do some shoutcasting as well, correct?
Yes, we will.
So, going to be a lot of good streams going on. The stream I will be shoutcasting on is twitch.tv/FFA Masters League, and the stream that you guys will be streaming on will be twitch.tv/Ugri, UGRI, FFA. And if we're lucky, we may work it out that I'm going to do a guest shoutcast with either Keno or Ugri.
Yeah, about this name, wow. So, before we discussed that, actually Mage has this power to change people's names, and which he did with me on the first game, in which you shoutcasted me, you and Warpax, and I was Kenostrikesback all the time. And because of you, I stayed Keno until today. I'm still Keno. Monk calls me Keno each time we talk, and you call me Keno every second time. Ugri calls me Keno sometimes, so thank you, Mage. Thank you, Mage, a lot.
Yeah, the best part is it's a power I don't even realize that I have, but yeah. I was talking with Doveki earlier and accidentally said Doveki, which apparently is incorrect, and when I tried to suggest to him that he should change his name over to Doveki instead of Doveki, he seemed to take a little offense to that and not find it funny, but, you know.
Yeah, I can imagine Doveki taking offense to this, actually, somehow, but don't worry, Doveki, we love you a lot. Who else did you change name? What did you say?
Let's Have Some Fun changed his name to Let's Have, and I accidentally pronounced it Let's Shave, apparently. I don't remember any of this, but according to him, I'm the reason that he changed his name to You Just Got Shaved and actually has shave in it. Let's see. I actually mispronounced Ugrelanian's name for a long time. I pronounced it Ugrelanian, but he quickly corrected me on that one. I mispronounced Renault as Renaud. Surprisingly, I believe I actually pronounced Osborne's name correctly. So that may be the first time I've ever gotten a name correct on the first go-about.
Yeah, I still think it's O-Stone, but yeah, I don't know. I still call him O-Stone, but Osborne, you can comment on this and tell us what's your real name, so we'll finally demystify it.
Actually, the name that I've had the most trouble pronouncing is Chechi, which I'm still not quite pronouncing it correctly, but for the longest time I called it Sechi, and then when I was doing the 2v2 tournament, I had both Chechi himself, Chechi's manager Sunrise, and Pureby telling me the entire time that I was mispronouncing it. And while I can't do the back of the throat scraping that Pureby seems to be able to do, I'm a little closer than I was at the time.
I have absolutely no idea who are you talking about.
He's
Who is this Chechi.
Chechi. He's a professional, or was a professional, undead player. He's very good at solo and 2v2, and he played a couple of seasons in the Free-For-All Masters League as well. Very nice guy, and probably never would have said anything himself except I asked him how to pronounce his name, and then he explained to me that how incorrect I was saying it.
Our warriors
Yeah.
engage the enemy.
Yeah, those names. Who else? Yeah, we covered Dust one and Stone. Oh, I don't know anymore. Yeah, but
We don't need to spend the entire time talking about how I can't pronounce
but
people's names
that's
right.
true. That's true. But that's the power. That's really the power, and that's a good thing you said. That's a power you really don't realize you have.
Yeah, so Warpex, you're up next, buddy. I don't know if you're listening to this, but you're gonna be your name's changing at some point.
Yeah, and Persuade also, right?
Well, no, we already changed his name. It's just Noob.
Ah, noob. Oh, that's okay. I told you I don't like Persuade because he kills me each time I encounter him. Like, Persuade, thank you. Each time I see you in bot game, in FML game, in PlayFFA game, you are the one who kicked me out. So, thank you, Persuade. I'm not gonna play with you anymore. Anywhere I see you, I'm just gonna go out, and I can see all the games on the bot also, so I'll just exit them as well. No, I won't. But
Persuade's actually retired already, so you don't need to worry about running him into him.
Maybe I'll start playing again. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Just don't tell Persuade. We don't want it going to his head that he was able to force somebody to retire. Trust me, he's got ego issues as is. But I like the topic of discussing players. So, who are some of your favorite players to watch?
To watch or to watch? I don't watch a lot of games, but I like to watch So. I remember shoutcasting my first time I was shoutcasting something. It was with Hater at the end of season. I don't know what season. We were shoutcasting a 8-way, and So won it actually in the end, and it was really interesting watching him play. He did that human strategy where you keep your heroes and keep out of the battle for as long as you can, and everybody has 7/6/6 heroes, and you have 5/4/3 heroes. And for me as an undead player, that's unimaginable. How can you win with 5/4/3 heroes? But yeah, but he managed to do it because he's a nerdy human. Like, he knows. I told him a lot of times that he's a nerdy human. And Davki is also very interesting to watch. He also always goes some strange methods and some strange strategies. And he always pulls them off. I really have to admit that. Lots of players try to do something else and they fail, but not him. He's really good. And he's really like our statistics guy because he knows all the armor percentages, all the items drop percentages, all the percentages in general. And of course my friend Mog. I like to watch him play Tinker. He's really like I think he made a trend because we saw some other players playing Tinker, right? I don't know if I saw them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think Neo Geo actually has played some Tinker and a few other people, but there certainly are some. And actually, Yoz went Tinker first in one of the show matches that we put on.
Yoz, is that guy alive?
Yeah, I talk to him on Facebook every now and then, but he's retired from Warcraft. He does some commentating with the Back to Warcraft cast, but he doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, lots of players retired.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're in this Warcraft business, let's call it, for like, what, 5, 7, 10 years? And how much?
I don't know. I've been around since Reign of Chaos, so 12 or 13 probably.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so, and I'm here for like the last 2 years, maybe a half year more, I don't know. And there are so many changes that I see, like on our ladder. Like before, you had Toyota, Megadansky, Sexy on the top. You had, and now you have HTRT, So. You have new regular players like Let's Have and Ponty and Zagor. Everything changed. Like I don't know if there are any all-time players. Like maybe Megadansky. He's always around, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But everything's changed for me in like these 2 years, so I cannot imagine how is it for you during the last 12 years.
Trust me, there have been a lot of changes. Some of it's nice though because I do see players that have retired come back. I mean, HTRT stopped playing for a while, and then he's come back now. I was talking earlier about Fairfie's going to be playing in the tournament, and you had no idea who he was, but he was actually one of the best human players out there for a while. Played in the World Cyber Games representing Taiwan, so he's somebody that I'm glad to see is going to be coming back. And you just got to hope that people either keep in touch if they don't play any longer, or that they do come back and you get to see him again. But it can be sad to see players go that you've known for a while and you don't really keep in touch with. On the other hand, if you didn't play, there would just be all these people that you never got to meet in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. HTRT, so he's an old guy. Didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so he actually won Season 10 of the Free For All Masters League. Retired for a while, but he's probably one of the top 5 best Free For All players of all time, and played pretty competitively 2v2 for Canada under the names Piz and Driz, and he was Piz, so if you hear me refer to him as that, that's why, because that was his solo name back in the day. And he actually plays under the account with a couple of friends, John Irenicus. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but...
Yeah, well, he has a nickname. HTRT is really like HRT is Croatian radio television. So because we pronounce our country Hrvatska with H in the beginning, so there's HRT. So whenever I see his name, I actually think of my television.
That's too funny.
So thank you. Yeah, thank you, HTRT. Is that all? I think we're done here.
Yeah, I think we're good. Just one last question for you. Do you have any idea when this ladder season will be ending?
Well, ladder seasons usually last for 3 months. It's always been like this, only for the last season when we have November crisis or the October crisis. I don't know anymore. But I don't know. When did it start? Do you remember?
I have no idea, honestly.
It wasn't long. I have no idea. So just like 3 months. Take it like this. 3 months.
Fair enough. And you can always find out when it's going to be by going on the PlayFFA site. That's playffa.net.
That's right.
Which we should remind everybody that they need to go ahead and sign up for the Free For All Cup, which is going to be on Saturday, March 7th. It's going to be a great time. Everybody's highly encouraged to sign up. And on that note, I'll go ahead and thank you, Keno. It's great to have somebody sit down and take the time with us. I'm sorry that it took a couple of tries to get this right, but hopefully everybody enjoyed finding out some more from one of our PlayFFA admins, and they'll make sure to check out his future work as well.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to apply for the tournament. Like I said, not only pros, but everyone's playing, so why shouldn't you play?
Yep. Alright, Keno, thank you very much. If you're on YouTube, make sure to go ahead and subscribe. Make sure to you can follow the PlayFFA YouTube channel as well, which is youtube.com/PlayFFATV. I know that Keno and Ubri have been talking about getting a little more active soon, so well worth the subscribe. You can keep up with all the action there, and let us know what you think of Keno in the comments. Catch y'all later.